Got it.
Cool. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Brain Dump. This episode is episode 56, I believe, and this is we're with Jack and Brandon. They've done a couple of things.
Brendon.
Brendon, I'm so sorry because
Dude,
there's like that other Brandon who.
Oh, that's
what it is.
We should call
Yeah.
You should call him Brandon, man.
No, it's good to do to
likes
me
it.
because it keeps me humble.
Can I just call you like Hannaford? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's cool.
No, that's sick actually.
I'm just gonna do that.
Okay.
Just because there's two Brendons
Right.
in my orbit. So
And on this interview, he's coming in a couple minutes, isn't he?
is he?
No, I don't think so. Not unless you scheduled that, dude. I was gonna see if maybe just get the whole crew on.
All right.
All right. So
Shoot.
yeah, so this is Jack and Hannaford. We've known each other for not that long, actually, maybe like a year or so, but very like sparsely had contact. We were doing a comedy show together online with my friend Gianni, and that was really fun. And they also do their own comedy show called Blue Brick, and it's pretty impressive. They do like a really cool show at their house, and they always have like a lot of people and like a lot of like really cool like talent and people who come out. And they also have a podcast called Down The Toobs, which is like super funny and cool. And yeah, so what, I guess, like, have you guys always been into comedy and stuff? And I guess, first of all, how do you guys know each other? Because I have no idea how you guys know each other.
Well,
jail.
Before that, even I have some bad news, Ron, about the Blue Brick.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's too bad you bring it up and how cool it is because, it's actually not. It's done now. It's canceled.
Yeah.
Okay.
that was
I mean,
sort of
it was
86.
cool. Like it was.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you
it
for
was an
saying that.
achievement. So that's why I appreciate you bringing it up because it definitely was like a magnum opus of sorts. Sorry, just getting our background up here.
Okay.
Gotta have
a nice thing for the viewers to view. How do they see both of us, or do they see us one at a time, or how does that work?
So they'll see like whoever's talking, like it'll be on that. Like the camera will just switch back and forth to wherever the audio is like coming from.
Oh, I see. The computer directs.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that. I trust the computer to know what's like who's talking and what's good,
Yeah, I trust it too, and then I don't have to like, do it manually or anything. So I know you guys are doing your podcast though, still, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That we are still doing. And folks, please check it out. Down the Tubes, TOOBS. Search it anywhere podcasts are distributed: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts,
SoundCloud. Are we on SoundCloud?
I think so. I think it auto posts to SoundCloud. If
That's
not,
dope.
it will be so soon. And you can get the video versions of the episodes by going to Down the Tubes
Patreon.
Okay.
It's pretty sick, actually. A lot of it's like it totally enhances it because like we talk about YouTube videos, and it's great to see them. Great to see them when we're talking about them.
It's really sort of almost integral.
Yeah, but the audio version's so sick too.
We haven't even said what it's about though, but it is about like YouTube subcultures and YouTube freaks, as it were, that we enjoy, and then we kind of go on a trip and take you on a guided tour.
Take you on a journey.
That's dope. Do you guys like plan it out, or do you guys just like start with a video, then you're like, let's just go from here?
We definitely plan it out. We do months of research in advance. I don't want to say how
you don't
how
give
the
up
sausage
the
is made too much, but I'll say that we're not just winging it.
Yeah, we're not winging it entirely. The stuff we show, that's planned.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
We vet all the videos, make sure that
they're them for quality and accuracy
and dumb enough to show on the show.
Yeah. But to answer your question of how we met at college.
Okay. Where'd you guys go?
UC. SC.
We went to UC Santa Cruz, so we met through the comedy scene there. We
Okay.
did open mics, and
That's right.
I saw Jack do an open mic, and I thought he was insane. He's presented very insane to me, and then I saw him on the street later, and I was like, "You should come to this other comedy thing."
yeah, Brendon kind of accosted me and did like a we'll be friends or type of deal. And
yeah, I was very
like,
manic at that period in my
I was
life.
like, who's this freak? You know,
Really
And so
benefited me.
he was on the way to like the gym or something. He
Yeah.
looked, like a gym guy or something.
I think I was walking to my motorcycle
You had a duffel bag.
because I was parked by the trailer park.
Yeah, and I was
So you
walking
had a
to the trailer park.
motorcycle?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brag, but like I did own a motorcycle at one point.
That's sick. Whenever I go to
It's-
Santa Cruz, it's always like so collegey, but like it's such a vibe there too.
Absolutely.
Collegey
Like-
plus vibe, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I did
college
like
town.
I did like a short film there.
Oh,
And then there were like I saw like all the turkeys. You know how they
On
have like
campus.
the turkeys walking around? Yeah, it's like
yes,
crazy.
dude. The turkeys, they're kind of abusive.
There's one of them that's that has a name, right?
Hank the turkey, but I think
Yeah.
that's kind of like 007.
Yeah, he gets
There's
replaced.
no real Hank. It's just like you just
Yeah.
point to a turkey and you go, "That's Hank." We all know Hank.
Has to be
It's
pretty
a title.
sizable turkey, but yeah,
Yeah, huge hog on that one.
big boy.
Yeah, but that place is like a different universe almost.
Santa Cruz?
Yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
UC Santa Cruz, because you go there and it's like you're just like in the middle of nowhere, and there's like turkeys, and like you never see that anywhere. Like in like the cafeteria, it's just like it feels like you're in like a log cabin almost. Like
Well, it depends. It
Depends
honestly,
on which cafeteria, bro.
Yeah.
It sounds like you only went to one D hall.
I
which-
did, and I guess I thought that was it.
Nah,
but
you,
you
you
fucked
got
up,
messed up, dude. Because it sounds like you went to probably like a log cabin. Which one? Do you
Yeah, it's
remember
just like
anything
Oaks.
else about? But
went
Oaks
to
doesn't
Oaks,
have a
dude.
dining hall.
right?
like it doesn't look like a log cabin from like the outside, but from the inside. it
It's a
has,
log
like, that
cabin
vibe.
on the inside. I don't even know.
So probably like
Maybe you didn't even go to UC Santa Cruz.
maybe you
dude.
ate at a restaurant on campus. Did you?
No,
eat
I
at a
was like
campus
at
restaurant?
UC Santa Cruz. Like
No.
Nah,
Okay, let's
man.
get this straight here. Okay, you were at UCSC. I believe that. What was the cuisine you had? What was the size of the establishment? I will identify.
was
I worked
big.
for UCSC dining for like 2 years.
Yeah, he was.
it
a
was
foodie.
big. Like there was like a cafeteria. Like they had like pizza. It was just like an old
It
school
was definitely a
cafeteria.
cafeteria.
Like they had like
where you,
trays and
go
like,
through a line. Okay,
yeah.
tell me more about this place.
There were like a lot of people in it. They were like sort of like circular tables. Like you'd go through to get your food, and there's like a separate room. with,
Was it
like-
on top of a hill?
Yeah.
Sounds like 9 and 10.
I
to
think
me.
Merrill. No, dude, no way. No way. I think it was Merrill.
Maybe
I think
it was
you went
that.
to Merrill
yeah.
Dining
What
Hall
about
because
Crown? Is that the same one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Why you don't know about UCSC either? It's just me. Both
no,
you and Ron don't know.
Crown's the same as Merrill.
Yeah, Crown Merrill Dining Hall.
Yeah. I never went there.
Yeah, there was
For freaks.
one of it was tied for last place.
For
that
absolute
one. That
freaks,
one with
yeah.
and Porter.
Like always kids playing Magic in there.
Yeah. Well, Crown Merrill was I guess the joke, the sort of stereotype about that campus, because there's like multiple, they call them colleges, but there's multiple residential areas on UCSC, and the Crown Merrill one is like sort of joked as the sort of like nerd hill people. Like it's like gamers who you never see because they live at Merrill. And why would you go there?
Right. See, I didn't pick up on that a lot because I transferred, so I'm not
Yeah,
too familiar with all
Jack was an interloper,
a vagabond, as it were.
drifter.
Yeah. I also transferred, so I feel that
Nice transfer life. Yeah,
for sure.
you understand.
Yeah.
Community college is a real, it's a real beautiful
Yeah. It's
mosaic of
people,
society.
different people. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's all ages at community college,
Absolutely.
Where are you from, Ron?
It's sort of complicated. Like, I'm from New York. I was born in New York, but I moved to Tucson, Arizona when I was like 8 years old. So I pretty much grew up in Tucson, Arizona.
Jeez.
But most of my family is in New York.
Okay.
And then
cool.
I sort of moved here to go to college. I went to San Francisco State.
That's right. That's where you and Gianni met, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I met
Well, I
Gianni
spent
there.
plenty of time there in my day.
Yeah,
in
Jack.
your day.
Jack also went there.
I went to
Yeah.
City College of San Francisco, and my
Okay.
friend went to SF State, and I, have been in Park Merced, Towers.
It was a really cool time
tower
for Jack
parties. Yeah,
too. One
no,
of Jack's favorite periods of his life.
it's one of the not darkest periods of my time ever alive.
For sure.
I didn't get mono there and have to leave or something like that, but I did. Yeah, I had to sort of flee San Francisco.
You know, college has been kind of tough on you because that happened, and then like at UCSC, you also lived in a sort of hellish situation where your water was poisoned.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I
sounds
lived in a
crazy.
trailer on campus because I had this trailer park on campus, and yeah, the water would just be it's like piped in or whatever from the city. It's like city water, but for some reason I don't know what the deal was, but they have gray water systems that come out of the back of the trailer, and you have to take that out when it fills up, and it's a corrugated like plastic tube that comes out. And one day I noticed that the whole thing was like eaten away as if like acid had been poured on it. And I asked the guy when I was leaving the trailer, I was like, "Hey man, what's up with that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just like that's nothing." And then he emailed me, he's like, "Hey, do you know what happened in your trailer? We're treating it like a biohazard site."
He asked you if you knew what happened to it.
Yeah, like a month later after I left, he was like, "Hey, what's the deal?" I was like, "What do you mean what's the
You're
deal?
just like, I don't know.
You tell me what the deal is. I've been drinking fucking poison water in your goddamn retro 50s trailer."
I wanted to live in one of those so bad.
It was cool. It had
I just
cool
like the
except
idea of like
poison water.
a new small little living I just like I'm a pod guy.
Yeah, you're already in the pod in your mind.
But not in that way. I'm a pod guy in like a
in many ways.
creativity. Like I like the idea of making a weird little thing you live in. Like a tiny house. I unfortunately tiny houses do attract me. I look at that and I'm like, that's kind of sick.
Would you live in one of those
or like a van life?
Japanese coffin hotels?
I would certainly stay in one time. But or like a van life thing, like not because of the adventure aspect, but I look at a van life van and I love the engineering. Like I'm fascinated by the idea of like, oh, I set up this little kitchen and then I put a little stove. Like I like that part of it. I don't really care about the like part you're supposed to care about, which is like, oh, I'm free of debt now and blah blah blah.
So you could just get it and then just sit there with that.
I'd love to make like a mobile
park it
office.
in your driveway.
I would. And I'd go camping in it, or I'd love to make a van that's like a mobile office and go like park it at the beach and work in there. That'd be kind of sick.
That'd be hard.
Every 8 hours, get out and kind of smell the breeze, get back in.
Well, I'd probably leave the side door open.
Oh, that's nice.
Go out, enjoy
Hear
the
all
beach.
the riffraff and the fucking kids.
You know what? I actually a good example of that.
Dropping ice cream on the sand.
I did a
the beach
kind of
sucks. It's overrated.
Societal exit. Did you see my like? Were we friends when I was doing the thing where I was like I had my mobile study?
Are we friends now?
Thing? Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
No, but I've seen a fucking photograph.
I had this like kit that I assembled because this thing would always happen at UCSC where like when finals or tests came around, all the normal study places, which I loved, such as the library and like different study, get really full. So I was like, and I did like studying in my room. And so I decided to like build a portable sort of like study room kit, which consisted of like a one-person pop-up tent, a chair, like a bleacher chair that like you sit flat on the ground, and then like a little folding desk that would go over, like a little lap desk.
So you could like carry that? Like just...
Well, I would put it on my e-bike. I had an electric bike. And so I like made this kit and I had it in such a way where it would attach to my bike and then I could bike to any location.
Go read Derrida in the meadows.
Exactly, dude. I would go on the bike path, but then I would go off it. So it's just like in a field. Then I would set up my little fucking setup. Honestly,
did you
like
get any
that
comments or like from passersby?
No, I didn't want passersby to see me because I thought they'd.
So you were just like
like
fully inside of it.
Yes,
like
it looked like a little green pill. Like half of a green pill that I was inside. And I did have some friends who, when I told them about it, they're like,
almost like a pod.
People usually thought it was sick. They'd be like, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, and I
just went to
invite
a
girl one time.
Like a normal,
yeah.
Like you could fit someone else.
For studying?
It's a 2-person pop-up tent. No.
Were you both studying?
Yeah, maybe. That might have been the original pitch.
What was the point of doing? Why not just invite her to your
I guess because she thought it was cool
domicile or something.
that it's outside and it's a tent.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
So
cool
what-
to like have that. I would have loved that if I had something like that.
I should start mass producing them.
Well, you can't hide
Yeah.
on SF State. That's the problem. It's like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I don't even know where I would hide in there. Like
on the
there's
football
nowhere to
field,
hide. Yeah, because no one's on the football field.
because the team sucks and no one goes.
Dude, I don't even think I've ever seen like people on the football field. Like
I
anyone.
have one time my sister graduated there, and so they gave her diploma on the football field. But I heard that they're terrible. It's like one of the worst football teams.
That's funny.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
love
even
football, man.
pay attention to sports. Like I didn't see any sports players. It was just off my radar completely
Yeah.
at that school.
But in general, do you like sports?
I'm not like a huge sport guy. I do occasionally enjoy like a basketball game, you know, and I occasionally enjoy like UFC, but I like never watch it. I just hear about it from other people who talk to me about it, and then I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I
You like to read
Google
about
it.
UFC?
Yeah, dude. Like I never
cool.
watch it, dude. I
It's
just
crazy.
like people talk to me about it for some reason, and then I like look it up, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Maybe they look at you and they think you're a fighter. Like they think you have the build of like an octagon fighter.
maybe, yeah. Like they just see something in me that like triggers them to talk about it.
Have you ever done a martial art?
I've
Martial art.
yeah, I've done jujitsu. Like when I was a kid, I used to do jujitsu, and
Sick.
then I did
So
like
sick.
I did like fencing too for 3 years, which is
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
fenced for a bit.
You did?
Cool.
At camp, I would fence. Yeah, at camp, sleepaway camp.
Oh my god, dude. Your priv is showing right now, dude.
Abs-
Hide your priv.
I won't.
That's that Y
I
priv.
won't. Yeah.
That's that Y priv coming in clutch, dude. Well, I went to camp and fenced. My name's Bartholomew the Third.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also like it's like I just liked swords. I was like, I wouldn't do something with like a sword in it.
Are you like a samurai sword guy? Do you have a samurai sword?
Yeah,
I
do you
don't.
practice kendo?
I don't practice kendo. I was more into like medieval shit, like
Oh,
like
that's
the
so-
European shit.
We all
Yeah.
have that in common because we
Yeah.
all, Jack and I have also discussed how like when you're a kid, knights are so cool.
They're
That's
so
cooler.
sick. Yeah.
Did you have
That's
those
all
little
you wanna
toys?
do.
Did you have the little plastic knight toys?
I had
Did
some.
you get into
yeah.
that?
I had some of those. Yeah.
Lots of kids
Yeah.
got into that.
They're
And
like
then we just
mine were
never
like
talk about it.
cartoonish. Are you talking about the like the
No,
sort of
mine were
caricatured
like
ones?
maybe this tall, and they were like little knight figurines.
But
So
they're
like one would be going like
pot bellied and shit.
no.
Oh.
Some of them were kind of, but they were more realistic than cartoonish. They would be like a
Oh.
be
They
like
have,
a
like, armor
crusader
and
going like
stuff.
mid action, and then you get a bunch of them and make little play fights. Some were like dragons, you know, some broke the reality. Then you get like a little castle and put them on it.
Yeah.
Some
I
reality
was
break.
also
Yeah.
really into like Hot Wheels too. Like pre that, like before that, I was like so into Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels rock.
Yeah,
Like the tracks and stuff.
To bring it back to YouTube, there's a guy that I check in on frequently. His name's Mr. Sensi TVT. Have I ever showed you him?
We're gonna have to put him in an app
Absolutely. Yeah.
of our show. Yeah, Mr. Sensitivity is a
He loves Hot Wheels, and he
He
goes.
does.
His house is like full of Hot Wheels, and he knows when all the drops are happening, and he also repaints his Hot Wheels to like be different
nice.
colors and stuff.
There's a whole that's a
colorways.
scene, that's a tube. There's like this whole Hot Wheel collector scene on YouTube where like you'll find their videos and it's just them going to Walmart and then they're like
That's
going through like
crazy.
this big bin of Hot Wheels and they're going like, no,
They have a lot of them.
this
usually.
one's good. This is a 1957 Ford Falcon. Good.
Bullet.
That's
That's a
cool.
bullet.
In
I always
2006,
wondered-
I killed my wife.
Nice
I always
Dodge
wonder
Charger,
like
killed him.
why. I guess like I assume that people, you know, who get into Hot Wheels, like they didn't get into them later in life. Like they got into them when they were like
Right.
kids, right?
Yeah.
And I always wonder like what kept them in it, you know? Whereas like with me, I was like, oh, I like this now.
You grew up.
Yeah, but like what is that force that like
Probably
makes
just like
people-
trauma, just like stuff happens and they just can't live a normal life. And so they fixate on this childhood passion to sort of alleviate stress and give their life meaning. No, I'm kidding. Everyone has their hobbies. I mean, I think lots of people have like a toy or something like that
I
that
think
just
some
kind
of
of
them
sticks
are
in
like
mind.
autistic, like the ones I see.
There's an element of autism that's empowering for them. It allows them to like
Yeah.
memorize shit about
Yeah.
cars and find Hot Wheels and
They
focus
love
on
it.
that.
That's what's
Autism
up.
rocks. No
It's
bit.
cool,
No
yeah.
bit. I think autism rocks.
For sure, yeah.
We're
Like,
pro autism.
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Like when I look at like the jokes people make about autism where it's like, oh, they like memorize like, you know, like cutaways for like tanks from World War II or something. That seems like a skill. You know what it reminds
Yeah,
me?
dude,
Isn't
you
that
could like go
Foucault?
hard with that, like somewhere, you know? Like,
Absolutely. Or it's like a special ability. And of course, there's
yeah,
people who have like debilitating autism too, and they should also be respected. But I'm just saying there's like a strain where like
They're
it reminds me
superheroes.
of that thing where Foucault said the thing about how like in ancient times or like in the Renaissance times or whatever, like what we would call insane now, we're seen as like oracles or like just different, you know what I mean, or special or something. Like I'm sure a lot of people that were oracles were just like hearing voices because they were schizophrenic or something. So it's a matter of view. And I
yeah,
feel that way about when people make the jokes about like autism and like hyperfixation and stuff like that. I'm like, that seems kind of sick. That's like cool that they can do that.
yeah. It's like they might not be able to function in like a party or like something like
Right.
that like normal people can function in. But then it's
That's
like they
dumb
can like
anyway.
do
Yeah,
these
who
things
cares?
that like no one can do, and then you like need them for that
Yeah, or
one
it takes
thing.
all kinds. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
coincidence that like several you know, I don't like what they're doing, but I don't think it's a coincidence that several like crypto billionaire inventor people are autistic. That's not surprising to me.
mhm.
Well, then I think it is bad.
Yeah, I wish they'd make it better, but yeah, we're anti-crypto kind of.
Okay.
Sorry,
Like,
Ron.
did you say? Am I pro crypto?
I know you're a
Crypto?
huge
Like,
NFT head, dude. Don't try to hide it.
I'm not, and
Nice.
I was gonna say I wish I was, but I
No,
don't.
no, you do not.
So
No, you don't.
yeah,
No, yeah,
so
it's. I think it's like coming down as we speak. Is it not? I was looking at
Probably.
something the other day. I do follow sports like a dingus or whatever you want to call me, but I like it, and I follow English Premiership soccer, and
what's
I
that?
think it. What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the Premier League is like the top league in England of all the clubs that play. But they have people from all around the world, you know. But it's like it's like the best league in the world. Anyway, there's this owner, and he had some NFT project for the team. It was called like
Jeez.
soccer apes or something, and it was like started out trading at like $65 a ape, and then it went down to like $6 in a matter of like hours or something like that. And it lost millions and millions of like revenue. And
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. So it's like it shit the bed. It's just like an example of it.
How do you lose money on an NFT?
Because you buy it.
Oh, he bought it.
No, the people bought it. I don't
Oh,
think
they lost money.
Yeah, he like did this project or whatever. Also, I was looking at something the other day. Some team had like a fan coins on their jerseys. It was like you can. And I inferred from that you can like own a piece of the team now, like through NFTs or something.
Well, that's a good use
Mhm.
case.
Yeah.
Here's honestly, I used to give crypto and NFTs more of a benefit of the doubt. Like my whole kind of thing was like the space as it is now is not very good or cool, but as a technology, there's probably interesting ways it could be used. But I've
Yeah.
since kind of soured on that because like as I look into it, what I think is interesting is like these crypto or NFT projects, a lot of times it seems like they like introduce, they're like, oh, this problem with crypto existed. So we just came up with this. But then it's like a solution that existed before crypto. And so it just sort of seems like, well, what's the point then? Like, I'll give you an example. I just saw a thing that was like, oh, this NFT collection invented something really cool where if you like zoom really far out of the image, you know, and the pixels get a certain way, you can see like some sort of information on it, right? That verifies that it's yours or who knows what. And it's like, that's a watermark. Like that existed. So if you're just going to use another way of showing ownership,
Mhm.
doesn't that sort of cut NFTs out of the loop? It's like, well, then we didn't need it because you just, you know,
Well,
what
we
I'm saying?
did need it. We had to like burn a bunch of
Right.
carbon to-
Then there's
to
the
create it.
environmental effect. I'm kind of a
Yeah.
troll on that because I want to resist it because everyone's like, oh, it's burning fuel, but it is bad.
You're kind of a troll in general, just in appearance.
Yeah.
More.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, I never got too really into NFTs. Like, I don't really get it. Like, I get it, but I don't see any value in it for me, I guess. Like, I'm just like, I don't think that I would want to like own any or like invest
Yeah, I
in
think that's a
them.
good.
I don't know,
think
dude.
it's a good impulse.
Logan Paul seems to think they're the future, so that should really make you think that like they probably are.
Well, he's rich. So.
He's rich, so he must know what he's doing. No future stuff.
rich and he has big toys.
Yeah.
Big toys.
He has
So
big toys on his
I have a
side.
question. I have a question for you, Ron.
Yeah.
Why is it called brain dump? Where's the name come from?
The name, it just comes from like me wanting to. So there's another podcast called Brain Dump that's from a Norwegian podcaster that I really like. And
Oh,
so you just
she
took his name.
ended that podcast. And I wanted to use that name because when I made this podcast, I had no idea like what I was going to do with it. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to have like a journal for myself. And that's in the name. I don't know. I just like resonated with the name. So I'll just say like Brained Up with Ronald because it's like with me, you know. So I'll just do that.
you wanted to keep.
Is it a similar
and-
format?
You wanted to keep the dumps going with. But
It's a similar format in that it's just me talking, but like I guess mine is more like I have a lot more interviews. You know, like mine, I centered on like other guests. Now I feel like if you go back, it's like just me for like 30 episodes or something. But like in the past, like I guess 6 months, I've had like way more interviews, which have been fun just because I like talking to other people. And like I feel like my viewers or like listeners like the interview one. So I was like, I just want to do that. And then it gives me a chance to like get to know people that I already know, but like in a different way. Like I've interviewed, you know, a lot of my friends on it.
Right.
And I just get to like hear their whole story and like why they do what they do. And like I feel like that's just really cool to like know, you know, because they actually like talk about their life and stuff.
we're all dumping.
Exactly.
We're all dumping brain.
Exactly.
on the
You
rig.
have to right now. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You got it done, brain.
So you guys started your podcast. Like, how did that come about? Like, how did you guys say, like, okay, we're going to start a podcast and like,
I think the idea for the show preceded it because basically just for the past several years, something we've done recreationally ourselves and with other friends is like enjoy weird YouTube or find strange people on YouTube or, you know, sub communities on YouTube and be like, oh, you got to watch this. Or like we'd have certain YouTubers that we'd check in with every couple months and just watch. Like at our apartment at UCSC, there was like a couple YouTubers that we would sit around and just watch their videos for fun because it was so wild. And so I think, yeah, we just basically thought that could translate to a good show.
that's awesome. And you guys have like the same, like a similar sense of humor and you guys watch like the same stuff. Like,
I'd say I'm funnier than Brendon. I have a funnier sense of humor and I'm cooler too. But yeah, me and Sam. No, yeah, we all definitely share a sense of like the similar.
Yes.
Because
The stuff we're interested in.
Sam is
Yeah.
not. He didn't go to school with us, but I've known Sam previous. So like, we did me and him did a
Our co-host.
our other co-host who couldn't be here. He's working the midnight oil,
Working in
burning
the bakery mines.
bakery mines, but we did a similar thing. Like we watched, you know, YouTube videos together and referenced them with each other. So
Or it just felt like we were doing it anyway. Like we
Yeah.
had a group chat. We're just like, you got to see this guy, and then we just sent a YouTube video. So it's like, oh, we could just present this to people as well.
yeah, it's cool. And how did you guys, so you guys started being friends, like you met after doing stand-up? Were you both doing stand-up like at that time? Or? Was it
I
just
think
Jack?
so. I don't think I went up at that show I saw you at though. For
You
some
did.
reason. Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Yeah,
It.
you talked about like
I don't want to discuss that.
some like
I don't want to go over my material from that time.
yeah, it was about like buying
And he's doing it anyway.
having a fake ID
And
or
he's
something.
doing it.
I walked out during your set.
Really?
Right before. I didn't know you were going up.
That's messed up. Even though we weren't friends and didn't know each other's names, it's
Yeah.
really messed up. You did
I
that.
had a phone call. I was like, man, that went really well. I'll get out of here. I'll take this phone call. Then I'll come back.
Your style for stand up has honestly gotten worse since then.
Totally.
You're less funny now than you were then.
It's totally
Your
true.
stand up
Yeah.
because the sort of appeal then was that it was just so crazy. It wasn't even the content. It was just you had a very strange affect.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
now you're medicated and just trying to do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
It's
like a transition.
The way I avoid it is I just don't do stand up now. So that way I can't.
Brendon retired.
Yeah. So in a sense, I am worse at it because I just am not doing it. I got to start again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I haven't done it in a while. I want to do it again. So
how many times have you done it?
In real life, I've done it probably like 3 or 4 times, and then plus like the comedy show, the online comedy show.
So
5. Not too many times.
Yeah.
You guys gotta get back.
Got to get back into it. Yeah.
I'm doing a show at the Chuckle Farm in a couple of days.
Is that like out in Pasadena or?
Yeah, it's a big rodeo. It's like a barn / stage thing.
Yeah, they do that thing where they hang cows. It's like a butcher shop place, but then they do an open
element of that they do,
which
adds to it acoustically.
So that's like going on, like as you're.
Yeah, they're slaughtering cows while you're doing it, and it's honestly a pretty horrible venue for that reason.
Yeah, but then it's like you get to know where your meat comes from.
That's the benefit.
I guess that's a plus.
Yeah. At least the cow gets to.
It's also
hear the worst jokes of all time.
It's an open mic too. Jack says he's going up, but it's a paid mic. It's $20.
Yeah,
it's $20 for 5 minutes.
I pay to go up. You do get a little link afterwards.
Huh?
The cow.
They give you a link.
Oh, I forgot that those are called links. That's right.
Oh, I thought you were talking about they give you like a little link, like a hyperlink.
No, they
like
do that
URL.
too. They do that too because each sausage has an NFT associated with it.
Yeah.
So even after you eat it, you can still remember it.
Links are abundant.
Multifaceted. Just absolutely multifaceted and ubiquitous.
Links are everywhere you go. Well, we could go tonight. We go out tonight. Pretty sure Flappers. Links. We go Flappers maybe.
Some are saying that Flappers or Offbeat tomorrow for one of us, but yeah, Flappers is possible.
So Jack, did you do that like on the background, the Down The Toobs thing? Did you do that like Photoshop or?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think I used Adobe Illustrator because it's like the only thing I know how to use. I really suck at Photoshop. I'm like the only millennial that doesn't know how to use the whole suite, but yeah, I did that. Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah, because you always like finesse like the images, like on our comedy show, like me and Gianni's, it was like funny because you like had all these like cool images that you would like do to your stuff, and like I just think that's so dope, like the way that you use like visual stuff, like visual comedy and stuff like that.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jack has a unique digital, what he lacks in technical skill in programs and drawing and stuff like that, he makes up for in conceptual stuff. He's got a distinct style that's unreplicatable.
Yeah, it works too because like I'm getting everything that I need. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain what I'm seeing, but like it affects me in like a good way. It's where I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, you got a lot of people out there who know how to use Photoshop and Illustrator, but then like don't make good shit. You know, it's more important. The conceptual part is more important, and Jack's got that, and that helps the show out with stuff like this.
That's from the Lawnmower Man, the video game.
Yeah,
which I don't even think is a real game. I think somebody like made that
up.
No, somebody made like a video game for unlicensed video game for Lawnmower Man.
Unlicensed.
Oh, is that I think I've seen that. It's like that animated thing where the guy is like pushing like a lawnmower.
No, have you not seen the film Lawnmower Man?
No, I haven't seen that.
Really
Oh,
good. You should
dude,
check it out.
Yeah, it's honestly it's coming to pass. I mean, in reality.
Okay.
It's,
Is it
coming to
like what is it
pass.
like a science fiction or?
yeah,
Was supposed to be.
yeah, it is science.
It's turning
It's
into a
supposed to be fiction.
documentary.
Yeah. It's Pierce
Yeah.
Brosnan, and he's a doctor scientist, and he comes up with a way to like download, info into a brain, and so he uses this like stooge guy who's like an idiot lawnmower man, and the rest ensues. I mean, you should watch.
You should definitely. I
And
don't
then
want
watch
to spoil
number
it.
2.
I
don't wanna
Number
spoil
2
Lawnmower
goes
Man.
fucking ham.
That's crazy.
A
So
lot of
that's like
people
what's
say-
going on in like that photo. Like
See,
Part
yeah,
of
it's
it.
like the guy.
Yeah,
This
he's like jacked in. Like if you're
Yeah.
are you fucked with Neuromancer, that kind of stuff? Matrix,
Yeah.
like he's jacked in.
He's like in there.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Job's War. We share David Koresh
we
was
share a
also
love of Christ.
with David Koresh. He
Seventh
also
Seal.
was really into Lawnmower Man.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
like a known
David
thing.
Koresh of Waco fame.
Yeah. He got a bad
He got a
deal.
bad rap.
Poor guy.
Damn, rip. Rip on him.
Oh, he died?
Yeah. In the
The fire?
in the Waco event, he was he got shot by his assistant, his right hand man.
Really?
He didn't die in the fire. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes. I think supposedly through forensic evidence, they determined that his right hand man shot him in the head because he asked him to, presumably.
Oh,
Damn.
right. Is that in the show?
Yeah, I think so. He like hands him a gun and he's like, "Do it, do it, brother."
Remember that sweater wearing guy? That was like his buddy. Like, he's like
The blonde guy.
having doubts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who did
That's
it.
the guy. Yeah. Oh man. You gotta see the show Waco, Ron.
You
Sorry.
gotta
to
see.
Go off on a tangent there. But
You gotta see Waco, dude.
Is it like a recent show?
Yeah.
yeah.
This past couple years, this mini series, it's really bad, really bad, but funny bad.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll check it out. Do you guys have any like favorite movies or like any favorite shows? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
Sopranos, that's one for me. I love that show. I know lots of people
Sopranos
do,
is
but I
good.
just do think it's a great program.
Yeah, we love Prestige. Right now we're watching
I
Mad
do.
Men.
I fully do love prestige television. I can't even lie. Sopranos, Mad Men, great shows.
Great shows. Yeah. Movies. I like, me. I'm like a big pastoral guy. I like movies like Walkabout.
oh, okay.
Or like it's just like English guy. I mean, it's Australian film. It's probably one of my favorites of all time. Badlands, Ghost Dog. These are my top tiers. You seen any
Okay.
of these movies?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Check them out. You know Jim Jarmusch?
No.
Damn, son. Well, he's good. He's got a big,
Damn, son.
he's got a nice cannon.
Big canon on
He has a
it.
nice big cannon of films.
Okay, I'll check it out. Then.
Small Soldiers, that we were talking about the other day. That's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
You ever seen Small Soldiers?
No, I haven't.
As a child, oh,
Oh,
bro.
Ron.
Well, it probably won't appeal to you. I guess you don't have the nostalgia for it, but it was at the
Dude,
time it
no,
came
it's
out. I
watchable.
really needed it.
It's
It's the perfect film.
yeah, it holds up.
It
Truly.
absolutely holds up, dude. That one's kind of becoming reality too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Parts of it,
Am I right?
like the
So I guess out of all of them, would you recommend I watch that one?
Small Soldiers. Yeah, hit that.
honestly,
first.
probably yes.
Okay.
It's a kids movie, but it's fucking sick. David Cross is in it.
That's cool.
Very cool.
What about you, man? What's your top film?
My top film.
Moving picture.
Moving
24,
picture.
24 pictures a second.
I was really into Star Wars as a kid.
Shit.
Growing up, like I would rerun that like all the time.
Are we talking
and-
the remakes? Or are we talking the
I'm
or, like,
talking
the
the
prequels or
the prequels.
Like the prequels.
I was like into the prequels like heavily.
Me too,
like-
honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the prequels. I like the original trilogy. too, but I think the prequels were like just hit when I was growing up, so like they're just nostalgic for me. And then same with like Lord of the Rings,
Are
like
you
all three.
Lord of the Rings, great films. Are you a fan of Baby Yoda? Are you one of these Baby
Baby
Yoda?
Yoda, not. I mean, The Mandalorian was okay, but I've recently been less into it. Been into Star Wars recently, just because it's
The
just
bone's
changed
been
for
picked
me.
clean.
Yeah,
It's been
exactly. And like
co-opted by Diz,
with Disney, it
by
just
Big
seems
Diz.
like it's not as gritty and like cool as it used to be.
Do you watch Star Trek?
I not too much. I was sort of into like the Next Generation, like back in the day. I would watch some of those, but I'm not too much into Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah. But some of those episodes had like really cool themes that were like really interesting. So
Oh yeah, because I would say on TV show level, that's the OG Star Trek has to be up there for me, just in terms of like
Really?
media. Yeah, I
Next
really
Gen is
enjoyed
definitely
it.
higher up than OG for me, but OG is
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Well, I haven't finished Next Gen at all,
Right.
but it's just so like of a time. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely. It's a great watch. I'm just if we're it's there's two scales, but if we're talking like actual quality of programming, OG
yeah,
is
yeah.
under Next Gen for me, but OG is a wonderful piece of media history for sure.
it's incredible.
OG Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a really good show. And then I watch like documentaries a lot now. Or different dramas. Like I like The Crown. I watched like that whole thing. That was pretty sick.
Nice. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I didn't catch The Crown.
Yeah, I
yet.
don't know about that.
It's all about like I guess the monarchy from like Elizabeth. It's actually just sort of starts with her. She's like the main character.
The current one
No
Yeah,
way.
the current one. Yeah, because she,
as a
she's
child.
yeah, basically because she's been
Oh.
in the office for like almost 100 years or something.
You haven't seen the show.
Long time.
You're like, no, not her. You just don't know anything about the show, and you're like,
Well,
tell me
doesn't
what
it go up to Diana? There's like a Princess.
Yeah, Diana's
Diana
there,
season.
but
Why would that?
yeah, she's definitely like the
You don't even
second
think it
and
is
third
about?
seasons about her, or like the third season's about her, a
Yeah.
lot. But Queen Elizabeth is still like the queen for like the whole series.
You
I
guys
thought
remember?
it went further back.
It doesn't.
Damn.
It doesn't.
Do you guys remember King's
They need to do
Speech?
some prequels on The Crown.
The King's Speech.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's just funny to think about movies like that. Like
Going
it
for
comes out and it's like, oh, it's so good, and it gets to where it's just like the most not memorable. Like no one's
Yeah, like no
favorite
one
movie
remembers
is
that.
King's Speech. No one's like, let's rewatch King's Speech.
I guarantee
It's like most movies.
there's people rewatching or having it on.
There
Blu-ray
definitely
and
is.
watching
Oh, people own it, but people are stupid. People own tons of dumb shit. In many such cases.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like someone's house, or like
No.
it could be one of
No.
you never? It could
I
be
don't
one
do
of
that.
like your relatives, and they just have like tons of DVDs,
Yeah.
and you just know that like they need every single one of those DVDs.
I have very few relatives.
I would say that I have the opposite experience. I see someone with a lot of DVDs and I think you probably don't need all these DVDs.
Yeah.
I don't think like you need them. I think you don't need them.
But they like to know that they have
right. They like to collect.
that option.
Well, for a while, it was your only option, dude. If you want to own a movie, you got to buy a DVD. Now with streaming, you don't need to own it.
I don't need to own anything.
But then I go back and forth because then I'm like,
In the
also
future, you'll own
physical
nothing.
ownership is cool.
I
don't know. I go back and forth.
Yeah, like that's with me with books. Like I have some books I'll have like just on Audible, like I'll just listen to the audiobooks. But then if it's a book, if it's like a fiction book that I really like want to read, I like just buy the book because I'm like I have to have like the physical.
Yeah.
Will you do other stuff? What do you do while you're listening to an audiobook? Will you like go on a run or like clean your dishes, or will you just like
I'll
lay
like
in bed?
it's all of the above. Like I'll lay in bed,
Wash your dishes in bed.
Yeah, I'll like do that even, I'll like bring that sink into my room.
That's
and
nice.
I'll just be washing.
So sick.
And like I even bought a drying rack on the side of my bed that I'm just like, so I could
I've
just
never
do it
seen
there.
That actually would be good to have. That makes
It's
sense.
still
What
yeah.
what would you dry?
No, I'm saying because like sometimes you eat a snack in
Your
bed.
socks.
Sometimes you eat a
Exactly.
snack in bed, and if you kept like a little tub of water and then a little drying rack right
Mm.
next to it, you kind of avoid a lot of trouble having to wash it later.
What have you been listening to lately on audiobook?
Yeah,
Mein
I've been
Kampf.
listening to Will Smith's autobiography, which is like really good.
He doesn't even want to address it.
I heard about that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
My Struggle in English.
Yeah, and then there's like Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. That one's really sick. I like just
Okay.
started with that one.
South African guy.
Yeah, he's South. Yeah, exactly. He talks. It's like all about him growing up in like South Africa, like under apartheid, and like
Jeez.
it's really sick. It's really
Sure, that
cool.
was a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't, dude. I'm sure it was fucked up.
It's crazy, dude. Like the shit that he went through, and you're just like, damn, like it's just insane. Like
I bet.
everything that he goes through. And yeah, I have a bunch of like the thing is like my Audible is like so much nonfiction, and then like the books I buy physically are like all fiction. That's just how I am.
Mm.
Because like if I want to read a fiction book, I want to like escape. I want to like unplug, and I
Really
like
enjoy
just
it.
want to have the book. But if I'm like reading like nonfiction, I just want to like get through it and like I'll do other shit.
No, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
distinction.
Yeah. Do you guys have any books that you like, you really like, or
Well,
love even?
probably first off,
Yeah, what are you into, Brendon?
my
What is it?
nothing. Just
Bronze
just
Age mindset?
can't remember. I did read Bronze Age Mindset. I did enjoy reading it, but I don't think the guy is cool. I think he does bad things or he thinks wrong things. I like to read like controversial books. Like if there's some weird book that's like sweeping the sort of political sphere, people for and against it, I like to give it a read.
The bell
Okay.
curve.
I would say like no. I honestly I would read the bell curve though. I think in general I disagree with the sentiment that you shouldn't engage with material you disagree with. So like
Certainly not.
I think it's good to engage.
Yeah, I disagree
if
with
you're a
that
certain
too,
type
yeah.
of person.
That's like why I read Clifford books still.
Yeah, because it's like he's the Red Menace, sort of, you know.
I never thought about it like that.
But
yeah, I guess that's
but yeah,
true.
so like the bell curve obviously is awful. I would read it just to see like because I feel like understanding opposition is important, you know. But yeah, I like to read books that are like in trouble.
You know what's another sick book?
Huh.
Holes.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you know, I really like Jonathan Franzen. Read some
He
fiction books of
sucks.
his. That's not true.
No,
That's
he's-
just not true, dude. He is like Jonathan Franzen is like a pretty popular writer in the literature sphere. But what's funny is
Ron's
that
probably read some Franzen. You never
have
know.
you?
No, I haven't.
Well, he's kind of like a giga, like in the same way that there's giga boomers who are like
Giga
the
Protestant?
most boomery boomers. He's sort of like a giga Gen Xer, where it's like the books are good, but he just can't help but being like so. And you don't even think about that that's a thing you can be. But he's so painfully Gen X in all his books. That's like the only.
Like in
downside
what
of it.
way, I guess? Because I don't know how that would
Just
come
like
out.
when he paints a picture of certain types of characters, it oozes from him that like his conception of those people was formed when he was growing up. So like he'll describe like a hipster, and like the
Yeah.
way he describes a hipster is like what a hipster was in like 1992. Because like that's like when that solidified, when he's like looking at young people and he's like, oh, these are hip. You know what I mean? Like in his mind, like a hipster is someone with like a goatee and like maybe like big gauges, sort of like a
Mhm.
Portlandian, like that bike guy from Portlandia. That's the type of hipster that's not so big now, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's like his idea of a hipster. Just like everything he can't help but project that. Or like when he describes like a cool band, it's like the way he describes it is not like how we describe a cool band now, which would probably
I
be
think
like
there's-
a rapper or something.
it's maybe a different point, but there's like moments of cringe in a Jonathan Franzen
Yeah, absolutely.
novel that every novelist, I guess, does, and it's like a measure of whether or not your novel is good enough to keep powering through the cringe.
Yeah,
So I think he's a good
Okay.
such a good writer that like you're like, okay, well,
that's how good it is.
I'll power through this really fucking cringy thing you just said.
I really like
This is a good book.
Alice Munro. too. I've read writes these short story collections. She's similar, just like a straight up sort of like humanist realist fiction writer.
Mhm.
She's written several short story collections. They're pretty good. Terrible titles on a lot of them, but the collections themselves are really good. Like she has this one, I think it might have even been the first one I read, that's called like Love Ship, Courtship, Hate Ship, Run Ship, or some dumb shit. But other than that, the book's really good.
Dumb ship.
Like she'll just title it like whatever it makes her
Just
think of.
The same thing Jack's saying. It's like there's a little bit of cringe that leaks in, and like for her,
You
one of the-
have to have it as an author.
you just well, and I'll tell you why. It's because anything sincere now is sort of cringe at the same time.
Yes,
And that's why it's good. Like Jonathan Franzen is good because he's from an age. I mean, he's from literally that period. Like the new, isn't that New Sincerity?
Yeah.
He's part of that, right? And so like I think that sincerity is needed to make a good piece of art that's like not comedy. And
Yeah.
when it's
sincerity
actively
is
something you're
cringe.
injecting into your like your conscious of your sincere like push, you know, I think that you can go in the further into the direction of like deep sincerity without holding anything back. Do you know what I'm saying? And those moments like crack forth.
What are you saying?
I'm saying like if you are like already poisoned and then you take
Yeah.
it upon yourself to write a book in the new sincerity.
Yeah.
You know, because he's aware
Yeah.
of like his genre.
Yeah.
I think there's moments where like you give it all away in a certain way. Like you go full
Like it's
sincere
too-
and it
yeah.
becomes cringe, but that's fine.
It can
I would just
happen,
say that
yeah.
like the option to call something cringe is always possible. It's like a
Yes.
choice you're making, because even if someone is being sincere, your reaction to it can be to be sincerely affected by it, or you can go like, "Oh, that's fucking cringe." Like you can always do that. It doesn't matter how sincere it is. or
Yeah,
real
like
it
you
is.
can
Like,
pull
always
out
make that choice.
the genuine essence of it and just be
Yeah.
like, okay, I get why they were saying that, even
It
though it's a
has to
little
do-
cringe.
It has to do with the reader. I would say like whether something's cringe or whether you portray something as negatively cringe or positively sincere, it has to do with the reader. And so if you're someone like Jonathan Franzen and you're just going to sincerely write a book old fashioned style, you just know that you're open to that accusation, or you don't know that, but I mean, you are open to
Yeah.
it. So it's like
Mhm.
cringe is an unfortunate, now it's just an unfortunate side effect of sincerity. Like you will be accused of cringe if you do anything sincerely.
Well, I grew up in
Just got to be ready for that.
I grew up in the poison.
The poison
the deep
times.
poison. So I'm always at a remove no matter what. I mean,
I
I've
know.
even
I
tried.
know your brain's like messed up.
Yeah. I've
Like,
even
bro,
tried to be fully sincere. I think it's impossible to do.
because you're aware of it. I think you can. It's just that I definitely have a small voice in my brain that's like, "Oh, this
Don't
is
do it."
cringe. It's cringe to be sincere."
Yeah, I feel like everyone has that. And like I have that too, like when I'm making my music or like when I'm doing like anything like art related, I'll be like, this is so cringe. But like at the end of the day, like all I can do is like, I don't want to get stuck of like in like trying to make everything not cringe to the point where I
No.
don't even like,
It won't work.
Yeah.
That will always fail because like cringe, once again, the reason it will always fail is because whether something is cringe is decided by the consumer of it. So you'll never make something that's not cringe because all it takes is a group or a certain person to say it's cringe. That's always, so it's like you can't use that as a guide because
you don't know.
it's unwinnable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cringe.
Cring.
I think I gotta leave it there. If that's, I don't know how long it's going, but I gotta.
No, I think honestly, Ron, if you're cool with it, what if you did like one more question, Ron? If you have any,
Yeah, we could do
pressing
one more
for-
question. We
for
can wrap
Jack
it
and
up.
I, and we'll wrap it up, dude.
Yeah, I
What's
guess
the one thing you always wanted to ask me and Jack?
I don't know.
Jack
I
and
never
I.
thought about that, but
Jack and me.
I guess what I'm most curious about is like, what are your plans? I guess like going forward with like everything that you're doing,
Do you want to go first or me?
Man, plans.
I know specifically for me.
Yeah, why don't
Sort of
you
involves you.
hit it up?
Continue the podcast. Try to get that going in a solid way and like slowly accrue a following for it. That's your meat and potatoes, is get the podcast
Mhm.
good and keep it going. On a personal level, make TikToks that are viral enough that I can get enough of a following on TikTok that I can point followers to the podcast in a meaningful way. Then also the long-term goals would be to get better at stand up, start doing stand up again and get better at it, and create some sort of pilot. Write
That's
something
dope.
and shoot it. And that's the plan right now.
Cool.
The everyday is the podcast and sketches that are like for TikTok and
Tic-tac-toe.
TikTok. And the long term is to write and shoot a pilot
Oh, that's
and
cringe.
do stand up. Yeah, it is.
For me, just continue working at the bar I work at.
All right.
Great, man.
Yeah,
Cool.
just try to keep my job.
You're trying to stop doing comedy, right?
Try to keep my head above water.
But didn't you say that?
Tread water.
You want to try hard to stop?
I'll try, but I don't think I'll succeed.
Yeah,
And
same.
I'll keep doing comedy.
Yeah,
So it's just sort of like automatic for you. Like you'll just
no choice.
keep doing it.
Yeah. Born.
Yeah, if Jack weren't able to say "I'm just kidding," he'd be in jail by now.
Nice.
I'd be canceled.
Cool.
Sick.
All right.
That's awesome. All right, guys.
Thanks,
Well, thank
Ron.
you so much.
Thanks, Ron. Down the Tubes.
Check it out.
Patreon.com/downthetubes. TOOBS.
All right.
There's a free episode on YouTube. Down the
Cool.
Tubes. Search it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone for listening. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Brain dump.
Happy brain dumping.